Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about Kringle candle, sea salt, and Tonka. Now, I wanted to let you guys know before I get into this review, I am filming this video outside and we are having a rare day in June where I think we have some storm systems passing across Utah. I live in Arizona, so state north of me. But one of the things that I think is going on with this is that we're having a pretty breezy day. It's also an unusually quote unquote cool day for us in the summertime. It is a beautiful 88 degrees at noon when I am filming this. Some of you guys might be thinking that's hot, but when you live in Arizona, usually late June by noon, it is well over 100 degrees. So I'm doing a little bit of filming outside today. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this review. Just wanted to let you guys know in case you hear some blustery noises in the background, that is what is going on. Okay, so sea salt and Tonka. This is a fragrance that is not new to the Kringle lineup, and it is not new to yours truly. What is new is this packaging. This is a vessel that I have previously had, or not a vessel, excuse me. This is a fragrance that I have had in the past in a medium-sized 2-wick, and I enjoyed the fragrance quite a bit. However, the performance of that particular vessel had me wanting more. So when I saw this extra large format introduced in this particular fragrance a couple of months ago, I was pretty excited to go ahead and place an order to test it out to just see if I would get increased performance with this fragrance. So let's go ahead and talk about this for a minute. This vessel is the 4-wick extra large format. This, I believe, is 32 ounces of 100% white soy wax. Kringle candle does not use, like a lot of the toxic chemicals that we are concerned about in a lot of our home fragrance, or at least I am. I know there's a lot of people who don't care. I am concerned about some of the, the scary things that for somebody like me who likes to use home fragrance a lot, I try to be conscientious about what I'm introducing into my home. And so, yeah, Kringle is cleaner in terms of the products that they use in their candles. Let's go ahead and talk about this fragrance profile here. So sea salt and Tonka, we have top notes of sea salt, lemon, marine, citrus, mid notes of tonka bean, lavender, jasmine, base notes of amber, sheer musk, and cedar. The specific pour date of this candle that I am reviewing is February 14th, 2025. So this was poured on Valentine's Day earlier this year. All right, so let's start out by describing this fragrance. First and foremost, this is great for those of you guys who love fresh fragrances that might lean slightly spa-like. You would be very intrigued by this. This is not fresh laundry to my nose. What notes do I pick up? I definitely pick up citrus at the top. I pick up that sea salt. There's something that kind of gives beachy air vibes to this fragrance, but this is also very calm because I do detect some of that lavender. There is the tonka bean, slight floral element of jasmine in there. And then the base notes of amber, sheer musk, and cedar, I would say that those kind of lend a slight element of perfuminess. Of those that I would detect, I would say it would probably be maybe a tiny hint of cedar in there. There's a little tiny bit of a woody element in here. But this fragrance is very, very beautifully done. If you tend to like fragrances from Kringle, I will just throw some other ones out there. If you tend to like coral, if you like Seaside from the country lineup earlier this year, this is a fragrance that I think is going to be in your wheelhouse. This reminds me of maybe like what you would, let me put it this way. If you like coral, the way that I have described coral is it's a fragrance that I would think a very fancy beach lobby, like a beach resort lobby would smell like a very bougie one. If their hotel lobby smells like that, this is what I feel like I would smell going into their spa. Now, this is not your, there's no like eucalyptus. There's not even the lavender in here is very, very subtle. It's not like, oh, that's straight up lavender to my nose. That's not what I would smell. This smells like what you would find probably in like a sophisticated beachside resort spa. So if you go out into the lobby, you're going to smell, in my mind, coral. But if you venture into their spa area, this is what I would expect to smell. But again, it reminds me of a beachside resort because you do get some of that like sea salt air vibe going on here. Just to let you guys know, and I did talk about this in my candle chat, I really enjoy pairing this fragrance with coral. So I have been burning this one out in my open concept living room in the evenings, and then I will burn coral in my bedroom. And oh my goodness, it is such a lovely combo. My daughter, the other night, my teenage daughter, she is actually working as a lifeguard this summer at our town pool. And they had like a family swim night the other night. And so, of course, she came home, and I tell you what, watching a pool full of children that could possibly drown might be slightly stressful for a 16-year-old in particular. And when she came home, she was like, oh, it smells so relaxing in here. Like, that's what she said. She's like, oh, it just smells so good in here right now. So if you're looking for a way to unwind on summer evenings, you want something that gives you those vibes, this is the fragrance that I would definitely encourage you to pick up. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the performance in this extra large format. So I believe it was last week, I did my first review of an extra large candle, and it was on another fragrance that I had previously had, which was Rosemary Lemon. Oh, goodness. See, look at the wind knocked out one of my flames already that was lit when I started this review. So those little breezes coming through knocked it out. But this format, or this vessel, I have had lit for, goodness, probably about 45 minutes now. I did light it out here on the back table. And like I said, the temperature is a little bit warm out here, so this pulls out pretty quickly. Even in my home, you guys, this pulls out quite quickly for me. So you can see that the wicks are very nice. They are not flamethrowers. They're not overly aggressive, but they're also not puny. If you want to, you can trim the wicks a little bit on these 4 wicks. I would recommend, just because they don't burn super, super hot. Don't get too aggressive in those wick trimmings because you don't want to risk getting puny wicks. But yeah, good deep wax pool here. And like I said, that one wick was lit when I started this. I think it was just the breeze that came through from our blustery day here in, I would say, the 100-acre wood, but I live in the 100-degree desert. Instead, went ahead and blew it out. All right, let's talk about the performance of this candle. So I did mention previously, I did have this in a 2-wick medium-sized vessel. Loved the fragrance, but the maximum performance that I got out of that fragrance in that vessel was maybe about a 5 in terms of strength and throw. It just was not strong enough for me. I had to relegate burning it to a bedroom, and I really wanted to enjoy it out in my open concept. This format, I am so happy to say, scratches that itch for me. Now, I will say that I feel like this takes a little bit of time. It starts to throw, but it's not like Jelly Donut, for example, where you light it and within 15 minutes, you're going to start smelling it throwing across the room. This one takes a little bit longer to start. It's a little bit more subtle, I would say, in terms of starting to throw. But I would say after about that, I would say after like 40 minutes, I would say, of burning, this one definitely fills up the open concept. I would say the strength of it, again, because the fragrance profile in and of itself is a little bit more softer. It's just a more softer fragrance profile. The strength is probably about a 7.5, but the projection and the throw is pretty good on this one. It's about an 8. Definitely fills up the open concept living room, and I can smell it in my kitchen. Is it gonna, fill up the bedrooms too? No, it's not. And also, I did want to mention, you guys, if you are unfamiliar with the layout of my home, if you're new to my channel and you've never checked out the description box, I do have listed down below there the square footage of my home, kind of the style, age, environmental factors. So always feel free to check that out when you're trying to compare, your home size to mine as a reviewer. I do think that that is something that you guys should familiarize yourselves with, and not just with me, but with any candle reviewer, because if we have very different sized homes, very different environments that we're living in, that can definitely impact. Even something like that I was thinking of today was, I burn a lot of soy wax candles because I like soy wax. And I hear from other people who they prefer a paraffin wax. And they say paraffin just performs a lot better in their homes. It's funny, paraffin does not perform very well in my home, but soy wax does. But I got to thinking, one of the reasons why I think soy wax might perform so well in my home is because the ambient temperature in my home is usually warmer than most other people's homes. I'm acclimated to warm weather. I grew up in Southern California. I now live in Arizona. So when I hear that people keep their home set at 65 degrees. I am like, how on earth do you do that? I would be freezing in that type of temperature. I have very, very, what would it be? Thin blood. I would be freezing at that temperature. So it would make sense that if you keep your home at 65 degrees, soy wax might not perform so well because soy wax needs to be a very hot temperature to start throwing. So I said that's maybe one of the reasons why soy wax performs so well in my home is because the ambient temperature in my home right now during the daytime is anywhere between 75 and 77 degrees. Now we keep a lot of ceiling fans going. We have fans and my family's comfortable at that temperature. So just throwing in that little caveat there, but that's just something important for you guys to know. But like I said, if you like this fragrance, if you've purchased it in wax melt or daylights and you really, really like the scent, I would highly recommend just go ahead and splurge for this 4-wick vessel because I do think that that is where you are going to get the best performance from. I do know that this candle was recently on sale during the Memorial Day sale for 30% off. I don't know what their offerings might be for the 4th of July. However, if you are wanting to get your hands on this prior to any sales being known, this candle does currently retail for $45. I do have an affiliate discount code with Kringle. It is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of your purchase. So you could apply it if you're comfortable using affiliate codes to that purchase and you could save 15% off of the $45 price point. I haven't seen these 4-wicks go on sale very often. In fact, I may have seen them go on sale twice now since they have introduced them. Once I think was around the Christmas holiday, and then again just for Memorial Day. So like I said, I don't know if these are going to go on sale anytime soon. But if you're wanting to get your hands on this prior to then, you are welcome to use my discount code. So let me know in the comment box down below. Have you purchased this candle before? What are your thoughts about it? Do you kind of agree with me that this kind of has a little bit of like a spa-like vibe to it? It's very calming. Let me know what your thoughts are. Please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.